Here's your game plan. What you will be selling is something called a speed to lead agent. Very simply put, this is an AI assistant that lives on the WhatsApp of any business, whether that business is in Dubai or the US or Europe or Abu Dhabi or Sharjah, and it doesn't matter where that business is from. The sole job of this AI assistant, when someone sends a WhatsApp message to that business, it's going to answer the messages or the questions it's going to get within seconds at any hour of the day, whether it's day or night, and also it's going to answer in Arabic and English. You can, of course, customize it to any other language you want. It answers the customer questions if the intent or the prompt or what comes in is a question. It books appointment if needed into a calendar, and it also saves that customer contact details as a lead and handovers sensitive cases, let's say, or tricky cases, or it doesn't respond to insults because that used to be cases with these things in the past, and it hands over to a human. So it has that human in the loop element. And if that customer goes quiet, let's say that customer booked a call with me and that customer went quiet, the AI agent or assistant will remind that person of that booking or that appointment, and also will go after that person if I set it in a way for particular conditions. Fully customizable, which you will customize because I'm handing over this exact app for you, the source code, and exactly how to run it and set it up for yourself and for your clients that sell it. So, who will you sell this to? Before getting into the details, you will be selling this to a local Dubai business. As I said, you can sell it to anyone, but for this example and this video, I'm going to show you how to sell to local Dubai businesses because that's who we sell to. So you're going to sell it to local Dubai businesses that receive customer inquiries on WhatsApp and lose some of them. I'm going to show you how you're going to find out because nobody replies fast enough. What those businesses are really buying is simply and very easily a small pain they have. They're not buying the full solution that's going to transform their lives. They are buying back the customers they lose every single day because a message that they're unanswered or answered unprofessionally, or they got the message at night and nobody answered it until the next day. This is a very small, low risk first offer. This is not an offer. I'm going to jump to this point that's going to make you a multi-millionaire selling AI and capturing this AI tsunami and opportunity that exists within the marketplace. The main goal of this offer is to sell it cheaply and charge for it every single month. So you get your foot into the door where the same business, once they're happy and see what's happening, I'm going to tell you that dopamine effects they may get from the results of this AI agent or assistant that you're going to deploy for your clients, and they will happily pay you for bigger services later on. And this is the whole play or funnel, if you want to call it, with this AI offer that I'm going to show you over here. What you're going to do very simply is you're going to pick one niche. You're going to build this agent and customize it because I built it completely for you. And you're going to sell it with the offer that I'm going to give you here on tab number 3. So again, I mentioned this because it's very, very important. This will not make you a multi-millionaire because everyone now is promising sell chatbots, sell AI agents, sell AI receptionists. This is the trend right now, by the way. And sell this cool marketing agent that will transform the customers' lives and become a multi-millionaire. I am yet to see, because I deal with businesses every single day, I am yet to see someone sell exactly a chatbot or a 5 marketing team army of agents and become a multi-millionaire out of that. That's not the play initially. That's not the play right now. That may come for a warm audience over time, but it's not the front door. This over here, this small problem you're solving for, is the front door. And the real money comes later on, where the other problems open up. And this is the whole point of what I'm showing you here and I'm giving you. So this is not a mock-up. This is not a promise. This is not, I'm not telling you, go build this app and do X, Y, Z to build this app, or this is how I would build it. This is exactly what we have built for businesses. This is for, I'm just showing you an example over here. So you see it running live. So you have a picture in your mind. But once you download it with the link below, you're going to have access to it and you can just customize it, use it for your own business, do whatever you want with this app that's over here. So 4 pages, there are multiple pages, but these are the 4 main pages. This is the lead page over here. You can see the conversation I had with myself, just as an example. and it told me it handed off 2 times, because one the trigger was a safety and sensitive thing. The second trigger was I wanted the custom code. And you can see an example over here. It saves the lead and then hands it off, and also sends an email to the owner saying, I just handed you this conversation. It's wise if you're going to look. So you have the bookings page over here. If this AI agent booked a call, it's going to appear over here, and it's going to show you the upcoming bookings, what's your availability, what has been the history of the bookings, and what has been canceled. And here you can see what's the WhatsApp connection. So this was a bit tricky to set up, but now it's set up properly, where you can scan a QR code. This is what you're going to do. You're going to provide this client to your client, or you're going to build it out. You're going to tell them scan a QR code on this link over here. They're going to scan the QR code with the WhatsApp of that business. And what's going to happen is going to be connected to this full system. So all they need to do, and this is the beauty of this offer, and this is why it's an entry offer, is very simple. Is that all they need to do is have WhatsApp, go and access a link. You're going to give them username and password after they pay you, of course. They're going to connect their WhatsApp, and everything will work by itself. But the most important part for them as well, you're going to tell them you can customize this in the settings page, which you're going to have access to. They can look at the overview, the business, the services. They can put their pricing, their availability, how they want this AI assistant to act, the personality, do you want it to follow up or not, notifications, if there's any knowledge about the business that you're talking about or answering questions about, you can provide it over here, and the preview and the publish, and also the history. You're going to have access to everything is down below. So before we go into the details talking about who exactly you to sell to, because not everyone will buy this offer, who or what the offer is exactly, and what the pricing is, how can you set it up, what's the calculator, what's the cost over here, and what exactly you are selling, just so you understand, which is the next part. I want to give you a frame. I want to give you a mindset where you enter this whole journey with this mindset to make this successful, and actually end up selling this offer, and actually end up making money with this offer, so you can make more money in the back end and see the potential of AI or selling AI to businesses. So what you're going to do since day one, you're going to treat this as a real business that's going to sell only one small thing to one pain point someone has for one particular niche within the market. Because this pain point you're solving for is a Dubai business. In this example, but you can apply to any example, is a Dubai business that has WhatsApp, which is, by the way, most Dubai businesses, that nobody answers to certain numbers or leads or questions very fast, or they answer unprofessionally because, let's say, English is not their native language. And the money is real, it's large, it's quantifiable. You're going to put it in front of their face. You're going to say, this is how much you're losing every single time. And I'm going to show you the calculator and how to do that. And right now, that money is falling on the floor because you are not answering, or this particular thing is happening, or the bottleneck within your business. What I'm going to give you, or your job, is to give them a solution that's going to pick up that money. It's going to hand over that money to them and tell them, I'm going to take a portion of it. Of course, we can have different pricing models. We're going to come to that, but just imagine that's what you're doing and what small problem you're solving. So the 3 rules, or the 3 frame and mindsets I want you to have within your, or mind shifts I want you to have as you go through this journey is: 1, copy what already works. Meaning that what I'm handing you right now is something we have sold. Of course, I can tell you go build an SEO agent, or I can tell you go build this X service for this company because it's amazing. But this is what works. The offer, to who it works, how to make it work, how to customize it, how to deliver it, everything is over here. This is something we have proven. So copy what works, and then you can start innovating later on. Don't just innovate at the very beginning of your journey in the business. So that's point number 1. Point number 2 over here is always sell the result. Meaning that the business owner is not buying an AI agent from you. They're not buying AI assistant. In fact, if you mention, I'm going to give you an AI assistant, they're going to have a bunch of objections, which we're going to see later on, which I'm going to show you how you can manage or talk to or respond to if you get those objections. So always sell the results, and you're not selling AI. AI is how you deliver that result. So keep the whole conversation with that business owner about the result they're going to get and how much money you're going to save them, and how much money they're going to make extra on top of something they're already doing on a daily basis. So that's point number 2. Point number 3 is pick one niche. I'm going to show you the niches. I think we have 11 over here, or 10 or 11, which I'm going to show you. I ranked them by fit, and that's based on Dubai governmental data. I took all the categories, looked at it's around 3,360, I think, and I rated them all, and I looked which one was the most fit towards this product, and then we reached out to those businesses exactly, and this is the results we got in terms of selling them, which I'm going to show you in a bit. So that's like the whole gist of what you're going to be selling. You have one real advantage over here, is that the product is built. It does not invent the prices. I don't give you invented prices. This is my worth. This is how much I cost. This is my hourly rate, and so on. It does not double book. It does not go wrong. It does not go silent. It does not just make you look bad because this works and this is something we have sold. And because the most important thing right now in the business is you need to promise things at this stage that you are at to the business. Not you're not going to promise them AI, but you're going to promise them results. And that's how they're going to trust you when you're going to close the sale over here and then give them that entry offer. Your foot is in the door, you're going to deliver the results, and then you can go further and sell them other things. And at this point, maybe you go a side tangent because it's super important. You may not have the confidence or the courage to actually go and deliver this or this product, and it's completely fine because you've never done it in the past. And I want you to understand that's totally normal. And the reason I'm giving you this app is to make that part or compensate for that part, so you have the full confidence to go and tell someone, I'm going to get you the results so you can be able to sell. Because business owners or the people you're going to sell to are going to sniff if you don't have any confidence, or of you're let's say shaky in terms of, I may get the results, I may not get the results, and so on. So this is why I hand you over the app that's we have sold in the past. So once you understand and you're in this frame over here, what you're going to do is you're going to take this agent I have given you, or this app I've given you. You're going to customize it to a business owner. You're going to show them what they're missing with the leads they're getting. And then I'm going to show you the way or the approach you're going to get them to book a call with you. You're going to close them on the call. You're going to deliver the agent to them. You're basically just going to customize it and give them the exact app I gave you. And then you're going to get the results, and then you're going to upsell them to other things. And even if, let's say, you get stuck at any of these stages, that is going to be the constraint of the business you're going to solve for, and you're doing nothing wrong. This is the very, very important point, because what I'm giving you is a proven path to sell this app over here with the full details. If anywhere you get stuck on these steps over here, that's a constraint. If you get stuck at selling, because I've got on calls and people, for example, they told me that I don't know how to sell this exact app to other business owners, or I'm not confident that I'm going to get the client. I'm so technical. I know the details. I know how to code and all this, but I'm not confident I can sell someone. This is the constraint. This is what you're going to solve for. You're going to go to the exact sheet over here and solve for that. So this is basically your journey. And your first client, if you have no clients right now, is a better deal to you, even if you do the work for free. And the reason I say that is that you're getting momentum. Right now, you're in this position where you have this cold start problem. So even if you're not going to pitch it that way, I'm going to give you the structures. But even if you don't get paid for it, even if you say, give me 10% of every lead that I close for you or I get for you that closes, even if they don't give you that 10%, you are benefiting or getting the better side of the deal. This is very important for you to understand. So what's the opportunity over here? Can we quantify the opportunity that we have to sell this exact app, let's say to Dubai businesses alone? So this is based on Dubai governmental data. The official business registry holds 500,000 active companies, and the active ones are over here. So you have more than 130,000 businesses you can approach in Dubai alone to sell this exact app. So I've filtered that out for you based on the categories, and I've given you each category over here. We're going to get into details and how much we scored them and what to tell them and all those details. But these are the categories that we have. And this is just for Dubai. There is Abu Dhabi, there is Sharjah, there is Ajman, there's all the Emirates. Then you can go within the Middle East, within the Gulf region. Then you can go to Europe. Then you can go to America. You can expand as much as you want. but we're starting with what we have over here locally. Then we expand globally, of course. And this is exactly or the opportunity we have. So you have 130,000 businesses you can approach today with this app. Like just download it, you can approach it with the exact strategies again we show you, and once or someone will say yes. And just this is a mindset shift that I want you to have. Let's say you're really bad at selling. Let's say you have no clue what you're doing. Let's say you're just starting into business. You want to get you want to benefit from this AI opportunity, and you know these businesses exist. One, you have the product I've given you. Two, you're going to have the offer. Three, you know exactly who to talk to. Even if you get it wrong for 1,000 people, you talk to 1,000 people and you get it wrong. What is the probability that 1 out of 1,000 is going to say, yes, please build that for me? So you see, it's kind of like 100% chance that you're going to get the client if you just do what I'm going to tell you to do over here and exactly show them what I'm going to tell you to show them. Like even if you get this completely wrong, even if you do it at a scale 1 out of 10, like you're not efficient, you're really bad, you don't know how to sell, you're shy, you don't talk English properly, let's say, even if you do it at that scale, if you do it for 1,000 people, one person will buy, even more will buy. But I'm telling you, 1% at least out of that will buy. And that's momentum that you're going to capture to get more clients much easily, or more easier, let's say. So just to give you an example, this is a company in Dubai. And I'm not endorsing or anything, by the way. I'm just showing you this is an example that happened that I went through. So I went on WhatsApp and I wanted to look for any place that would wash and cut the nails of a dog that I have. So I was on WhatsApp. I was looking at different companies on websites, and then I found this company and I WhatsApped them immediately. Actually, I WhatsApped a couple of numbers, and this company over here responded really quickly, and they said, "We will come whenever you want," which they gave me that option of availability. So who did I hire? Even though the other people, after I finished this job with the dog, and also I got them clean and everything was done. Even after all of this, some people did not respond to me. Even after a couple of hours, some people did not respond to me for the exact inquiry I had. So they got customer or a client, and the others lost this client. This is exactly what you're solving for. I'm just giving you this example, which is an example of me, of this dog wash, a kind of a car dog wash kind of situation. But this is what businesses are going through today. And I'm going to show you who exactly will benefit from this. So what we're going to talk about very simply is I'm going to explain to you an internal document of what you're selling exactly. This is not what you're going to tell other people, who to sell it to, the offer and the pricing, how to set it up and how to deploy it, and an expense calculator, what you deliver and the operations behind all of that, how to reach those peoples, and how to handle the objections you're going to get, and how to close them on the call when you're going to do the sales call, and how you're going to keep the client. This is the bonus point that I'm going to give you, which is how can you keep the client and upsell them later on, and how to adapt it to your market. So the play is very, very simple. I'm just summarizing everything I said. You're going to pick one niche from this tab over here, tab number 2. You're going to choose that niche for the next 90 days. And then you're going to build and let's say customize an agent or the app that I'm going to give you for the particular person within that niche. Then you're going to build a list of people, which I'm going to show you in how to reach them once we reach that tab. And you're going to be targeting those people with a particular message and script and everything I'm going to give you in a bit. And then you're going to run outreach every single day based on certain metrics that I'm going to give you. I'm going to tell you exactly how much to talk to or how many people to talk to every single day, how many offers to make, how many conversations to close every single day. Like I'm going to give you metrics to make this work. That if you do those metrics, coming back to this idea over here, if you talk to 1,000 businesses and you're bad at everything, one person will say yes. I'm going to get you to that volume by giving you this metrics and how to get to those people. And then we're going to talk about the objections that they may have, which are objections we have gotten, by the way, when we've talked to business owners. And then I'm going to show you how you're going to close or take over that call and get the money out of the client and then deliver it, and how you're going to keep the client and so on. So this is very simply what you're going to do. It's very, very simple. The main point of this tab over here that I'm explaining is to give you the full roadmap of how this will look like for you for the next 90 days to capture this AI opportunity. this is not your multi-millionaire plan. This is your front door step, let's say, into the world of AI, selling AI to a business owner. And who knows, if you sell this offer, even if you say, I'm just going to charge 10% of every lead you're going to get, even if you say that and you make no money out of it, you're getting the better side of the deal. And if you do a really good job because the app delivers the result, what will happen? They want more services. They may refer you to other people. So momentum will start growing. You're getting the better side of the deal. So don't go into the trap of my value, my worth, my time, my hourly rate, and all that. Just go with what I'm telling you over here. So how you can read this course, I'm going to tell you exactly how to read this course. We're going to have score from 9 to 8 to 7. I'm not going anything below that. I'm going to give you the top 10 ones that you're going to choose in terms of the category. And with one caveat, which is in clinics and anything health related over here, because there are laws within this jurisdiction. If you're doing it in the UAE or Dubai or this region over here, there are certain laws that I'm going to talk about that law, but there are certain laws that the patient data, where it's hosted and how are you going to do it, because it's kind of the sensitive data you're getting into. Not worth the headache if you're just starting out, but there's a high opportunity over there. I just mentioned it because they would love this app. And here's a very important point. We talked about, or we're going to talk about in more details, who to sell to, but who you're not going to sell to. This is going to be very obvious and logical, but you need to understand who we're not going to pitch to or talk to or tell them we have this app that's going to be amazing for you. For a person or a business that does not get a lot of WhatsApp leads, because they won't see the ROI in terms of what you're building over here. If someone doesn't get a lead or someone contacting them, let's say at least 5 times a day or 3 times a day, this is kind of useless to them, right? Even like, let's say someone gets a WhatsApp lead there once every week, they would rather do it themselves, right? So this is very important. We're not going to talk to people that don't get enough leads. I'm going to show you how you're going to find out. We're going to talk to someone who sells, let's say, something for 20 dirhams, let's say, and you're charging 500 dirhams to set this up. Meaning that if they get a lead and you close that lead and they make 10 to 20 dirhams and you take 10% of that, that's going to be like 1 to 2 dirhams. So, and they won't see the ROI in all of this. And point number 3, if a business does not use WhatsApp, you're not going to convince them to use WhatsApp to add this AI assistant, right? You're going to talk to businesses that already use WhatsApp. So now I want to explain to you in particular what you are selling. This is not how you're going to speak to your clients. That you're not going to tell them about AI. This is kind of like an internal document that shows you exactly what the thing is, or what the outcome are we getting for the client. And the product over here is a speed to lead agent. Of course, you can call it anything you want. And this agent lives, as we said, on a WhatsApp number of the clients. The client has WhatsApp. This AI agent lives on their WhatsApp. It's going to answer, or the features of this agent, let's say, capabilities if you want. It's going to answer everything that, or every inquiry that comes from their customers at any hours in a day, in seconds, in both English and Arabic. It's going to answer the questions based on a knowledge base, which means that they have, let's say, a set of documents or PDF or knowledge that they give the AI agent. It's going to book appointments on a calendar, which if the business that you're targeting books appointments, and it's going to save that lead exactly in a CRM or a database, which the app includes, by the way. You're not going to attach it to or integrate it within any other CRM. You don't want that complexity at this point. And if that customer books an appointment, let's say, and let's say it forgets an appointment or goes quiet, it's going to follow up and remind them of that appointment. If that person goes quiet for any other reason after showing interest, this AI agent can also provoke, or let's say point or just poke that client and get an answer or follow up with that answer until the job is achieved. So you can think of this as an AI receptionist. Everyone is talking about AI receptionists and how like popular it is right now for businesses and so on. This is the UAE version of AI receptionist, because maybe in the US or the UK or any other country, an AI receptionist, or how things work, is by cold calling or answering, or someone calling a certain landline and then people answering and saying, hey, yeah, this is the information, this is the inquiries you have, and so on. But in Dubai, how business, or the UAE, how business works, if you go on every single website, you see contact us on WhatsApp. Or if you go on, let's say, on Instagram, you're going to see DM me on WhatsApp. The reason that is because businesses here run on WhatsApp. So this is kind of the localized version of the AI receptionist. And those usually answer phones and or calls and websites chats, which is AI receptionist. And here the business runs on WhatsApp. As I said, I'm just going through the text. So this is the product you're selling. This is the product you're going to download with the link below, and you're going to have it for yourself, that customized for every single client that you're going to have. What is the outcome you're going to sell? Because nobody's going to buy this. You're not going to say, I'm going to give you an AI assistant. You're going to sell the outcome. They don't buy speed to lead agent. They don't buy because AI is cool. They don't buy an AI receptionist, even though there are people I know telling you that sell AI receptionists, you're going to make a lot of money. People don't buy AI receptionists. People buy the outcome you sell them, or business owners in particular, they buy outcomes. They don't buy AI or a chatbot. What they want right now, or this problem you're solving right now for these businesses, the particular business that I'm going to give you, is that they get leads on their phone, people contact them, and they're not answering them. Either they're not answering them professionally enough, or because they've hired, let's say, someone, they can't afford someone professional and so on, or they don't answer them at all, even though hours passed. They ask or a lead asks a question, let's say, or they forget to answer them because they're getting a lot of leads. So that's the exact problem you're solving. Something on the phone that answers other people and assists you basically in responding to other people and pushing them to the next step, which makes it closer for that business to give them more money. That's the one small, tiny problem you're solving. And one thing, I'm going to go through the text, one thing to make it clear, an old chatbot widget in the past, what people used to buy, it used to be something over here. You click on it, you see the smiley face that comes up, and an automated message say, hello, ask me any question you have, or ask me, do you have any questions, or how's the website going? That was in the past. Today, nobody buys that because everything lives on WhatsApp. We're modernizing everything. We're not doing traditional kind of things, 2000, 2001 kind of things. This is how they're going to push the business forward. This is the outcome you are selling over here. And let me give you a bunch of numbers. There's an MIT x Harvard, I don't know, study. They did that. They said that if you answer a lead within, and everyone's talking about this, by the way, if you answer a lead within the first 5 minutes, they're 21 times more likely to be more, or if you qualify them, let's say within the first 5 minutes, they're 21 likely to buy something from you. That's what they said. But there's the text was not that like on point. This is the exact stats that happens. Everyone is saying that's the stat, but there's no text directing to exactly that. Like if you can find a reference, great. But I found no references pointing to that exact text. But yes, answering fast helps. And it helps with the close, 100%. But there's no reference. So if you're going to reference that to the clients, and this is for your own sake, I'm mentioning it, don't mention the case of if you reply to a lead within 5 minutes, it's going to be 21 times likely they're going to close. Even on the sales calls, we're going to mention this because there's no exact reference to that. And I know a lot of people are using it. That's why I'm mentioning this. So this is the leak that's going to happen over here. And this is how you're going to discuss it, or you're going to visualize it to the clients when you're going to come to the offer and all those kind of things. You're going to say that if you reply within the first 5 minutes, let's say, of a lead, you have a highly likelihood of winning that lead. If you reply within an hour, the odds already dropped to more than half. If you reply the next day, the lead almost forgot about you and maybe they went cold. And if you don't reply at all, of course, the lead is gone to whoever answered that lead at that point. So in the end, you are selling booked customers from the leads a business already gets, and you get them to reply in under 5 minutes, which here is seconds. And I'm just going to go back over here to show you the screenshots. You can see here, there is a timing of how fast it replies. So there's a statistic that we have over here for the leads, which tells how fast it replied to each of the message of this lead. And that's critical for the person And to prove to that person, because you talked on the sales call, you talked on your offer saying that we're going to reply in less than 5 minutes, you can remind them when you're going to come to the upsell or selling them other things. We said we're going to reply within 5 minutes, but we replied within 90 seconds in average, or 30 seconds average, for all the clients that, or the leads that came in onto your WhatsApp assistant. So the one line that sells when you're selling this product over here is not AI assistant, it's not speed to lead agent. This is an amazing AI thing that I'm going to implement for you. But there's more. You are buying back every customer you lose because nobody replied to them in time, and you lost them to other people who replied faster. This is what you're selling, and this is the one line you're solving. And the one problem you're solving over here is the agent solves exactly, or this AI assistant solves exactly one problem, which is slow or missed replies to WhatsApp leads on WhatsApp, not Instagram, not any other platform lead that they get. And you're not running ads, you're not doing marketing, you're not doing lead nurture, you're not doing websites, you're not doing all the funnel hacks that exist within the world, and you're not running their business as well. You're solving one problem, which is a WhatsApp gets a message and you reply to that message because, or you did not reply to that message because you was busy, you was asleep, or you missed it, or you hired someone who's completely unprofessional who maybe insulted that lead. That's the exact problem you're solving right now. This is the single one problem you're solving. And this is the only thing you're going to talk about. You're going to sniper focus on this exact problem. And the frame, you're going to sell this offer. You're going to speak to other people with this offer. You're going to say that, and this is the reason behind it, is that business owners right now are very, very tired of being sold. They have to be convinced they need. You're selling something, or the frame you have over here, the mindset you're taking to this, and this helps for your confidence as well, in terms of having that courage that they really have this problem and so on. So you're selling someone who gets WhatsApp messages every single day, but they wish someone handled them properly, someone responded to them on time. They don't have the money to hire someone professional because they're a small business, let's say, but their ticket size is a bit high. Let's say they're not keeping enough margin. So they want to solve that particular problem because they have that problem. Not everyone has that problem. And there's a quieter reason to this problem too, if you tap into the psychology, is that in a small business right now, whoever answers the message is usually juggling 10 things, other things within the business as well, because they're a small business. And the owner does everything within that business. And the owner is not always sure the replies go out fast if they've hired someone. If they're not sure if it goes out in the right tone. If they're not sure if it's read well, if it's understood. The AI agent, or what you're going to sell them, the product over here, is going to answer every single lead, is going to respond on time, is going to solve every single problem that, or sub problem exists within this one big problem, or small problem, sub tiny, let's say, call it micro problems, and they're going to do it really, really well. Again, as I mentioned, this is for your understanding, and this is an entry offer. What you're going to do is you're going to sell a small, cheap, low risk offer, which is a product that you're going to enter within the client's space and solve that small problem. So you get their trust, so you can sell them and upsell them to other things. You're not going to solve everything from their first time. And this works on every single niche. So you're going to sell this agent as your front door, or you're going to enter it within the business. Then you maybe sell them the CRM updated to their liking, or integrated with a CRM they're using, or do a customized CRM for them. Then you're going to build a lead enricher where you're going to, let's say, use Apollo or Clay or all these platforms, where you're going to take the leads from WhatsApp, put it in that platform, enrich them so you can personalize more messages in the future. Maybe you're going to build a website for them. Maybe you're going to build a review engine for them, the Google reviews and so on. Maybe you're going to build a reactivation kind of campaign for them. Who knows what problems they have? But as long as you get into the business and they get your trust, and you get their trust, what's going to happen is all the doors will open for you. So you enter one door to open many other doors. Now, this is very, very important for this product over here, because this determines the quality they're going to get. Now, the first thing that may have come in your mind as well is that, okay, you're saying AI assistant, you're saying on WhatsApp, you're saying leads and all, it's going to respond and all that. But what is the quality of that response? Like, and quality is quantifiable as well, meaning that how good is that response? We can quantify how good is good, if you get the point over there. So what you're going to do is, and from experience, what we've seen is that when you go on the onboarding call, when you sell this client and they say, yes, please put it for us within our business, we want it. Your job and sole job for the next, let's say, 24 hours is to pull as much as details as possible out of the client about their business, and in particular the awkward requests the business gets and the edge cases and all this weird requests that the business may get. And you're going to verbally ask them in this way. You're going to say, can you give me examples of, let's say, cases that were weird or funny or awkward, or you did not know how to respond within your business in the past? I'm going to give you an example on this. If you're doing it for a cleaning company, a customer may come and say, now I have rats within my villa. Let's say they have a villa. And how do you handle the rats? Because there's they've made a mess. They've cut some wires in the roof and the ceiling, and I don't know how to access that. How are you going to clean all that mess that they've made, and how are you going to catch that rat? So this is one of the weird requests that cleaning company would get. It's not what's the price. It's not I want a deep cleaning. It's not I want this particular thing. But it's more of I have this case. How are you going to solve it for me? So this is exactly what you want to extract from your clients in the first 24 hours as soon as you sell them this offer or this product over here, because the quality depends on how much knowledge you give it and edge cases you give it up front. And you can get those edge cases at the very beginning when you're talking to the client, because they're excited, there's momentum going on, they just paid, they want the result, and you're excited, you just got paid. So it's the best, let's say, 24 hours to get everything out for the business. And you can go into deep into the onboarding and talk about like what is this particular edge cases that I need to extract and so on. You can plan this ahead. So very simply, if you're going to think about this as a spectrum, if you want them to have more human interaction within the loop, let's say you want them to be involved a lot when the messages come in, maybe you don't do this a good job over here. Meaning that, I'm going to give you an example. If you didn't tell this AI agent that there's this rat case, you didn't train it on it at the very beginning, what the agent would do would not respond to the message if this message came in and hand it off to the human, meaning that's more job for the human to take over. So if you want it to be more agentic, autonomous, let's say work by itself, the human is not involved that much, what you're going to do is you're going to take these edge cases, give it to the AI, fewer handoffs or messages or leads will go to the owner itself, and AI would hand over or take over everything. So this is the spectrum that you're going to play with. And some clients may tell you, I want to be involved. So this is where you're going to tell it, where do you want to be involved? In which handoff? Like what's the cases you want to be involved in? So this is very simply what you're selling. This is for your own eyes and let's say your internal documentation of the product. But now let's talk about who exactly is going to buy this from you. Now, this is based on Dubai's government data about small, medium businesses. And I have 10 niches that you're going to sell this exact product that we've been talking about to. You can choose any one of them. Like the main objective over here of what I'm showing you right now is for you just to choose one of these niches. No matter whatever it is, all of these buy the product that we have been talking about. And we're going to go through the details. I'm going to tell you exactly what each column talks about. But just so you know what the niches are over here, or the markets are within the UAE that you can sell to. One is real estate brokerage. Two is dental, medical, and aesthetic clinics. And a very big caveat or disclaimer over here is that you can demo this for now, but I don't recommend it doing it as a beginner thing unless you're into the medical space and all those kind of things, because there's a UAE health data law where the patient data must be hosted within the UAE, and there's a penalty for that, of course, if you're not hosting it within the UAE. So it's a bit of complication. There's a bit of more details there, but there's a bit of complication if you're going to sell to this niche directly, unless you know how to do all of this and you're in the space and you really want to go after them. But the reason I left it in here is because there's high potential. It's a very big opportunity. Let's say they want this solution, they really want it, but you only have this kind of constraint you need to solve for, which is kind of good. Lower, let's say it's a higher barrier to entry, which means if you get in, you can make more money. So the third market over here is beauty salons and barbers, restaurants and cafes, event plannings and weddings and parties, fitness studios and gyms, tour operators and tourism, car service and detailing, building and residential cleaning, and that's it. So you can see I scored these niches up to 7. The rest are 6 and below. I didn't keep it within this sheet over here. But let's take an example now so I can explain to you what each column over here means and how you're going to use this once you pick a niche. So first step, what you're going to do is you're going to close your eyes. You're going to pick any one of these, exactly how I'm doing right now. So I'm going to close my eyes, scroll down, click this one. What is it? Restaurant, cafes. Let's go through the example over here. The fit score is an 8. And the fit reason is, why did you get the score? Is because reservation and catering DMs, there's a lot of DMs that people get in terms of the reservation and catering, and staff cannot answer everything if there are people coming in within the restaurant and they can't just hold the phone and talk to WhatsApp, or if they're busy with other things. Meaning that if they have availability, that availability stays open because nobody responded because of the message they lost or they missed or whatever the case is. And why speed wins over here is high at peak seasons, meaning there are certain seasons that they get a lot of requests. It's very high at certain timings as well. They get a lot of requests, and those are the timings or the seasons that this becomes super important, and speed becomes super important. And reservation and catering DMs arrive mid-service when nobody is watching, so the guest books somewhere else. So it happened to me many times. It might most probably happen to you. You call this restaurant, they don't pick up. And then you call another restaurant, you see if they pick up or not because you have a certain occasion. Or let's say you have business people coming in. You want to book a dinner for the business partners that are coming in. They just flew in. You're looking for a place. Some restaurant did not pick up. Then what do? Go to another restaurant. You talk to a certain restaurant. They didn't pick up. What do you do? Talk to another restaurant. So it basically is super important for the speed over here for these scenarios. So how many active businesses exist within the Dubai? Let's say this is just Dubai data, 25,050, and they have been increasing since 2021, as you can see over here, and the increase is 50%. The words they use is not, let's say, inquiries, booking, packages, and so on. Booking they use, yes, but it's not inquiries, not packages. It's not speed to lead. It's reservation, booking, and table. I want to book a table. I want to book. I want a reservation. So these are the words they use. Do not use other words. Use their terminology, and this is what I'm trying to say over here. And let me give you another example just so you get the idea. For events, wedding, and parties, they say inquiry, booking, and packages. For fitness studios and gyms, they say trial, membership, and class. So each market you're going to choose over here will have its own kind of terminologies. So the exact pain of dinners and cafes for this exact app or platform or software you're going to be selling is that during the dinner rush, or let's say business lunch rush, nobody watches Instagram or WhatsApp. You're not solving for Instagram in this case, you're solving for WhatsApp. And so the reservations and catering inquiries go unanswered, meaning that if you have the full day, there's a rush during lunch because there's a lunch break for a lot of, let's say, companies, and many employees go to have lunch. There's the dinner time, or there's after the lunch hours, that the tables most of the time stay empty. And the reason is that maybe they did not answer the people that were booking, because not everyone has a job, not everyone is employed, not everyone wants to eat at that exact time. So maybe it went quiet during that time, meaning that the leads did not get any response. They didn't book for the availability that they have in a couple of hours later on or the next day. So what happens? They lose the deal or the lead, let's say. So this is the exact pain they have right now. So the leak is, what you're going to do is you're going to do a mystery shop line. Now, this can go two ways. Business owners have egos. You can either use this to validate the demand, whether these really have, or these restaurant cafes really have a problem. If yes, then you can reach out to them. And the other way you can use this mystery shop line, which I'm going to talk about right now, is that you can show it to them. You can say, I talked to you, but nobody responded. Now, I don't recommend you do that to everyone, because some people don't take it nicely, depending on the person you're talking to. But some people don't take it nicely. Like these guys are business owners. You're telling them your business is wrong by this thing that I have. They're gonna feel kind of this ego, kind of, no, why are you telling me my business is wrong, and all those kind of things. You're trying to sell me and so on. So it's gonna be sales resistance. I don't recommend you do that, but there are scenarios that we have told them, like, we tried it, this is what happened, and it worked. I'm just telling you, there are two ways you can do this. So mystery shop line is basically, you're gonna DM a certain restaurant or a certain cafe during rush time, that you know it's a rush time, and try to book a table. And you can see, or you can try to call, let's say, once, twice, 3 times if they do not answer, and then look how long they took to answer, and then look what they told you when they answered. So you can take the response and how long it took to get to that response, and how was the response. That's kind of subjective to you, but how was it polite? How did it feel? Maybe you can speak in other languages. You see if they can respond to you. They tell you, no, please speak English. What do they tell you exactly? So this is kind of you taking the mystery shop line. Now, again, I told you can use it 2 ways. I don't recommend you to do it the second way unless you get that vibe and feel, or that energy, that it's fine to talk about such things. So what do they do right now is that they have big venues, like big venues, let's say big restaurants. They run on 7rooms, which is a platform. Also Zomato, Deliveroo, Instagram Reserve, and all those kind of platforms. Check them out. And independents take reservations on Instagram DMs and WhatsApp and miss them at peak service. So there's a lot of, let's say, bespoke kind of restaurant experiences that take it on WhatsApp because they wanted that personal touch and all those kind of things. So that's, you're going to talk to people that use WhatsApp mostly. You're going to talk to people that already use WhatsApp as well. You're not going to talk to people who do not use WhatsApp. So the triggers you're going to look for is if you see on their Instagram saying that DM to reserve or WhatsApp us to reserve, or they're active on Instagram, and most of the time you're going to see WhatsApp number at the bottom, as I think it's called a WA link, something like that. Or they have questions. Let's say there's a lot of restaurants right now who get a lot of questions in terms of about a certain dish that they have. So if they're taking questions and they push it to WhatsApp, that does not happen on 7rooms and these booking platforms, by the way. That's what you're going to do. So what's one lead worth to them? Let's say a person goes and eats with them or at the restaurant. It's around 150 dirhams to 600 dirhams. And if they're booking a private event and all those kind of things, that's even more. The lead is worth more. So you're going to charge for this type of, let's say, category. Each category is different, but based on the table and their lead, what a lead is worth to them and what a client is worth to them and how much they're making off of that, you're going to charge 500 to 1,500 dirhams to just build it out for them, get your foot into the door, and you can add a monthly retainer to that. We're going to get to the details of the pricing structure and how to offer structure everything, but you're going to charge anywhere between 500 to 1,500 dirhams. If you're just starting out, saying you have no clients at all, and you're just starting out and you want to go to a restaurant and sell to them. So very simply, now I want to connect the dots here. I'm telling you that look at restaurants, you understand the pain points, you have 25,000 of them. You look for the exact triggers over here that I just talked about, and you're going to see, or you're going to mystery shop line them. You're going to say, okay, I'm trying to book an appointment or book a seat or a reservation for X amount of people. Look how long it took. Look what they told you. Look if they answered in different languages. Then you see and validate that, okay, they have a problem over there and they would appreciate a solution for that. And then you understood what you are worth as a lead to them is just as an individual lead. And now you know how much to charge them, which is this over here, 500 to 1,500 dirhams. You can make it just, I'm going to charge you and then we're going to do retainer, or we're going to take 10% of every lead that comes in or every 5 lead that comes in, whatever the deal is. And once you're proven, you can increase your prices, the build price, your retainer, or the maintenance price, or even the percentage you're going to take. So it very, very important is if you're just starting out, do exactly this. So what's break even to them? A couple of saved bookings a month. So it's not just one, but a couple to hit this number over here. And if they're getting high volume, as we mentioned at the very beginning, which is the people that we're not going to sell to, is the people not getting enough volume. We're going to sell to people that are getting enough volume. this is reasonable. They can see the ROI in this. So where are you gonna find them? You're gonna find them in Maps, Instagram, Zomato, Talabat. Instagram is very popular, by the way. You can use that only if you want. If you're doing it on LinkedIn, if you want to go to that decision maker and find that exact person. So if you're doing restaurants, and I have a bit of experience in selling to cafes and restaurants, what you can do is you can find certain accounts or let's say the restaurant on Instagram. Most probably for 99% of the, let's say, cafes and restaurants, you're gonna find them on Instagram. What you're gonna do is most of the time they're gonna be following themselves. So the restaurant account, business account, they're gonna be following the owner or the team. So what do you do? Like, this is something they do. I don't know why they do it, but they follow themselves. So you see this one following, and it's the owner of the account or owner of the restaurant, let's say. That's how you're going to find out who this exact person is and who you're going to reach out to. That's point number one. Point number two, if you reach out to the restaurant itself on Instagram or the restaurant account, most probably they're not going to get the response from the right person. So what you're going to do is you're going to go on LinkedIn. You're going to type owner, GM, operator, or operations, and you're going to keep it within the industry of the restaurants. You're going to keep it within Dubai or the UAE or whatever region you have. And you're going to look at exactly the person that exists within this market. I'm sure if you just do this, you're going to see a lot of people. And the terminology you're going to use once you're going to reach out to them, you're going to say reservation, booking, table, cover, catering, private dining, and all those kind of things. You're not going to say, I'm going to give you a speed to lead. I'm going to give you a bot. I'm going to give you a chat bot. You're not going to say all of that. You're going to use their exact terminology so they feel that you understand the industry you're in. And this is very important if you're just starting out. Like, you have zero case studies. You want to bond with that person. You want to resonate with that person, right? You want them to at least indirectly feel that you understand their market. You can use their terms. They feel like, okay, amazing. I understand. You understand what we're talking about over here. We speak the same language. So what you're going to do when you find them, the exact person, let's say, there are multiple ways. We're going to talk into the details in a bit. But what you're going to do is you can either send them a text, like we're taking options right now. You find the person, you're going to send them a text. You can either send them a voice note. You can either send them a video. Text, if anyone has no clue what they're doing, they're going to go and send a text if they want to get into this space, right? So what I'm trying to say is it's competitive one. Everyone is doing it. It's not that special. And if we take the 1,000 kind of analogy I brought to you, if you talk to 1,000 people, one person will say yes, yeah? Even with text, one person will say yes. I remember the first time I did this on Instagram, I talked to 1,000 people, and I looked at the numbers later on. I got 5 clients out of that 1,000 people talking to small businesses, just sending a text. So it works. I'm not saying it does not work, but you have a higher likelihood of it working even better and faster if you send them a voice note or a demo video. And what are you going to say on that voice note? You're going to say, hey, you're not going to sound like this is very important. The frame we're going to go into this. You're not going to sound like a robot. You're not going to sound like a machine. You're not going to sound like you're reading a script out exactly as over here. You're going to look at their account. You're going to understand. Hey, I love this dish that you have over here. I was wondering, because I work in this space, I'm particularly focused on restaurants in Dubai that serve burgers, and I really enjoyed that burger that the other day. I have an opportunity, and the opportunity is that we know that there are certain timings or hours within a restaurant and a cafe that there's a rush. What we do is we handle all the leads that come through at that rush, make sure they have booked based on the availability that you have, which you're going to provide us. And we're going to also respond to every questions they have on WhatsApp. And it's going to sound completely like a human. And is this something you're interested in? Or is this an opportunity you would like to explore and talk more about? If not, no worries. This is exactly what you're going to say. You're going to make it too personalized to that restaurant. You're not going to say, hey, Ahmed, during your dinner rush, who is answering the DMs asking for a table? You're not going to sound like a robot over here. I put this over here just so you have a guide in terms of, okay, this is the direction I'm going to go, but you're going to make it sound like a human. This is for the voice note, make it max 25 seconds. If you're sending a video, you're going to share your screen. You're going to talk as if I'm talking to this on the camera over here. maybe on Loom, maybe on Tele, whatever platform you use. A circus at the top, your face is here. You're going to say, hello, I really love this burger from you. I just wanted to make you a quick video right now. I wanted to show you something. I have an opportunity. And the reason is because I work with restaurants in this burger chain or whatever it is. And the reason I'm reaching out is that we understand how hard it is when you have a rush, let's say for corporate lunch, or you have that business lunch, or during dinner times. And there's a lot of people that when during lunch call or WhatsApp you asking certain questions or want to book for the next day or the other day, or they want to book for, let's say, afternoon or evening or wherever. And then you start sharing your screen, of course, and showing that app, saying that, look over here. This is something, we've built something similar for the restaurant. I give you the app, you're going to run that app. You're going to open your WhatsApp. You're going to show them you're talking on the phone. You're going to say, hello, when can I book an appointment? Or tell me about this fish dish or whatever. And it gives you the response. It does it in multiple lines. And it gives you that typing indicator. And they see it all live. This is the experience. So this is where you're going to show, not tell. This is the experience that all the leads you're getting today on WhatsApp will get if we go forward with this opportunity. If this is worth talking about, send me a thumbs up or let me know. If not, no worries at all. I just wanted to pass this by you. You see how simple that was. So you can do text, voice, video, choose whatever method you want. And if I was you, if I was just starting out, I had this app, this is exactly what I would do. Do it to 10 to 20 videos per day. And tell me within 30 days how many clients you close. This is something I'm telling you. And if you want to go on the challenge, please do. And let me know. So this is the video part. And who are you going to talk to? You're going to talk to independent restaurants and cafes with active social and reservations. You're not going to talk to McDonald's. You're not going to talk to big chains. You're going to talk to people that go on WhatsApp to book a reservation. And over here, I gave you a system prompt or a prompt that you can take and use it on the app that you have. You tell AI, take this app, customize it for this person in this direction. And then the app will be ready for you to use. This is how you're going to use who to sell sheet. And now let's talk about what's the offer, the exact offer you're going to show, and what pricing are you going to show these people or whoever you choose within here. So far, you have a full overview of the roadmap we're taking. What's the model we're going after? You understand the app you have right now. You understand what exactly the product is. And this wasn't what you're selling. This was internal documentation for your eyes only, how you're going to speak about or how you're going to understand this AI thing. You're not going to mention AI when you're going to come to the offer. This was kind of an offer for you. This is an offer for the clients. You're not going to see AI much over here. That's the main point. Clients or business owners don't want to know about AI. And then you understood who to sell to. And if you have not picked the category to sell to out of the 10, close your eyes, scroll down, pick any category and begin with that category. Now let's talk about the offer and the pricing. So for offer and pricing, you need to make it in the language of the client. You need to beautify it in the language or in the way that the client likes. For example, I'm going to give you an example. When we used to sell for cafes and restaurants, we made the offers look like menus, okay, as if it's a restaurant menu. And it really, really resonated. We kept the name of the offer something related to the category we was in. Let's say for restaurants, we could call it the fast food front desk, meaning that it's a fast and it's a front desk, it answers, and so on. So point number one I'm trying to make over here, the offer needs to have a name. And that name needs to be relevant to the category you choose. You can chat with ChatGPT or any AI to get creative with all of this, but don't spend much time over here. Just call it something. If you're just stuck, call it always on front desk. So the name. And a very important point, the name should not sound smart and unclear, but it should sound clear, and people get it's the outcome that they're going to get or what they're buying into over here. So that's point number one. Once you name it, under it, you're going to put a promise. Now, this is very, 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 very important. We mentioned this at the very beginning. When you're starting out, you want to sell AI to clients and so on, you have maybe low confidence and you don't have that much courage in order to talk about this thing you're selling them, and this may be subconscious and it's completely fine because you're just starting out, and you may come off as you don't have that conviction that you're going to get the client's result, and they feel it and they're not going to buy your offer even if you have the best offer in the world. So I'm going to give you examples on this. And what I have done, and the reason I've given you the app or the solution that delivers the result and has been proven, is I'm helping you borrow the confidence and courage in order to go and sell them in this full courageous kind of offer promise that you're going to make. So, and a point of, you can see the spectrum over here, is that if you're very conservative, the promise may sound, let's say, Mickey Mousey or fluffy, and it may be harder to sell. Here, of course, if you're aggressive, it sells more, but you need to prove or have some proof or have conviction and confidence when you speak. So that compensates for proof as well at the very beginning. So it's kind of like a balance, you know? Now, I'm trying to get you over here while most people I know start over here. So what's the difference? Well, someone is very conservative, and I tell them, okay, go make an offer about speed to lead, or you understand what the offer, what I mean by that. What they're going to say is they're going to make an offer. They're going to write at the very beginning, you will stop losing the WhatsApp leads that you're already getting right now. I'm going to help you stop losing the WhatsApp leads. That's the outcome or the promise I'm going to make you. That's a very, very conservative promise. It's understood, but it's very conservative. A less conservative, let's say, offer or outcome would be, I will turn the leads you are missing right now into book appointments within 30 days. So you see what we did here. We added a timeline. It's a bit more aggressive than the conservative one. And you're explaining it a bit more. If you're going to make it moderate, you're going to say, I'm going to book you more appointments from the leads you already get in the next 30 days. So I'm not going to just reply to them. I'm not going to turn the leads you're into book appointments only, but I'm going to get you more appointments. I don't care about the first part. I'm going to get you more appointments. That's like you're making them focus on appointment, not leads. And then you put a timeline. If you're going to get really aggressive, I'm going to book you at least 15 more appointments in the next 30 days. And if you're going to get very aggressive, you're going to say, I'm going to book you at least 50 more appointments in the next 30 days, or you're not going to pay me any amount of money. Or even better, I'm going to pay you more money. Don't do that. I'm just giving you an example. But you get the point, right? So when I tell someone, and this is from experience, because I've told a lot of business owners, go create offers and write your promise. They come usually within these two stages, where they say you will stop losing the WhatsApp leads you already get. They come in very conservative. What I'm telling you is you can start here, even if internally you don't feel it, because the product that I'm giving you has proven to do this. So, and this sells much easier than this. That's the point I want to make about the promise. So choose your promise. Once you write your promise down, you have the title and the promise. What you're going to write under that is that what they're going to actually get. You're not going to say AI. You're not going to say speed to lead agents. You're not going to say AI assistant. You're going to say a fuller calendar and 0 leads lost to slow replies or unprofessional replies. That's what they're going to actually get. A fast reply is far more likely to reach and qualify the lead. And once the agent is live, your own recovered lead numbers make the case. You are buying the customers you are losing right now. That's what they're getting right now. They're buying the customers that they are losing today. The money they're putting on the table, and they're not just taking that money, and you're just taking that money for them and giving it to them for a fee, of course. That's what they get. What is included? You're going to say, I'm going to build it for you, this complete thing, or to get to this outcome. I'm going to completely brand it for you, for your business. I'm going to tell you in a very simple click, you're just going to scan a QR code and your WhatsApp will be connected. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to have a call with you, which is, let's see, you can call it a 30 minutes clarity extraction one-on-one call. You can call it based on the brand or consultation. I'm going to understand your prices, your services, what you're offering, FAQ, edge cases, and all the necessary things. And I'm going to handle everything else afterwards. And all you get is a dashboard with every single lead and booking, and also notifications on your email for every lead that's getting booked and every lead that's getting responded, and you do nothing else. That's what is included. So up to now, you're making a case of why they should work with you. And then you come up with the famous part, which is why me. At the very beginning, you can't say because we worked with X, Y, Z clients or X, Y, Z restaurants and so on. What you're going to say is that right now, you're going to explain what's happening right now. That's how you're going to cover this part. You're going to say right now, what's happening is that you're getting inquiries in Arabic and English. And the late replies are costing you. And let's say replies day and night is costing you as well. What we're going to do is, or what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to get that done. I'm going to solve that exact problem. So we talk about the problem over here if you don't have track record. The guarantee is that you can mention this later on after the pricing, but the guarantee essentially is that if within 30 days you actually used what I gave you and it was on your WhatsApp and you didn't see the replies that you were getting or the replies that we were doing for you, and you didn't see the booked appointments and you were actually using it, then I'm going to give you a full refund. You can be that aggressive in here. And it only applies if you actually run it on your WhatsApp and the leads come in and you keep it activated to answer those leads. So the pricing, as a very beginner, you can price it a small setup fee and take a percentage of every booked leads or every sale closed. Even if you don't get the percentage, completely fine, doesn't matter. Just you can say that we worked with X restaurant, let's say. We worked with Y cafe. That's good proof for the next person. So think about the long run over here. And if there's other two structures, which I'm going to give you in a bit, but we're going to come to that. So what's the next step when you talk about your offer over here? You're going to say, if you're doing it through a video, let's say I record a video for you based on the scripts on the category I told you. I'm going to tell you, let's do a 10-minute call and let's talk about this. Like you basically look what the next step is. If they're on the call and you're presenting this offer, you're going to say, well, the next step is after we've settled XYZ based on this payment structure over here, we're going to have a 30-minute call where I'm going to extract everything or information about your restaurant. And this can go live in the next 2 days. You give them the next step as if the momentum is going on. So that's what you're going to do basically over here. This is the offer you're going to talk about to your clients. Then what you're going to say before dropping the price, ideally, you're going to say, and you're going to bring this up during the conversation. Maybe you pull out this calculator that I've given you. Maybe you share a spreadsheet similar to this. You're going to say that right now you told me that leads that message you on WhatsApp each week is around 25 per people. You call leads or availability or bookings or packages or whatever. You get approximately 25 inquiries on the package that you have within your company or business. And you say that most of them are after hours or 30% of them approximately. We can keep this 20% just for the sake. This is how you're going to go through it with them. You're going to keep it 20% just for the sake of this example. Let me go back so I don't mess this up. Yeah. So let's say 30% is you get slow replies. Your close rate, you said that for the people that reply is around 15%. So the value of one customer you close and you said is 1,500. And what essentially is costing you right now, based on the price I'm telling you and everything, is 500, let's say, for the setup, or 1,000. So you're paying 1,000 for one client that if you close it, an extra client is 1,500, which are your highly likelihood or is highly likely to close better because we have worked or because we have replied to that person fast. And this is proven, by the way. This is how you're going to speak. And your close rate, you said, is 15%. So that means if we reply to the lost leads that you have, which are you're losing approximately 32 leads each month, and you close, let's say, based on this closing rate, 5, that's extra customers, 5 extra customers, that's around 7,256 money or dirhams or money or cash you're leaving on the table today. That's a 7.3 times return on what you're going to pay today, which is 1,000 or 500 is double, of course, but let's say 1,000. So this is very clear. You're paying 1,000 today to get 7,000. It's a clear pricing, right? Yeah, I mean ROI. So now let's talk about the details of pricing. If you're starting out, you have no proof whatsoever. This is your first 1 to 3 clients. Charge 500 dirhams or 1,000 dirhams for a setup fee, and say I'm going to take 10% of every single client you close, or 5%. It doesn't matter. Just get momentum. Your goal over here is to get proof and momentum and not profit. And you can offer, of course, go the aggressive route of 30-day money back guarantee and all those kind of things. If you're at stage 2, you have 1 to 3 case studies, and you've dealt with a bunch of clients after stage 1. You say, I worked with XYZ. Now you can increase your price, and maybe you can add a retainer. At the very beginning, a retainer may push people away, let's say. Because I've seen many people tell me that I add a retainer at the very beginning, I don't have much proof, and what happened is they were stuck on the retainer. Even this was cheaper. They said they were stuck on the retainer. And I don't understand why. So at the very beginning, don't put a retainer. Like you can if you want. But if you want to close and you want momentum, you want speed, put the guarantee, be aggressive, put performance. Then stage 2, you can put the retainer. And stage 3, of course, you're going to increase this up and you're going to increase this up. 3,000, 5,000, 1,800 to 2,500 per month. And you keep on increasing based on the clients you get. And the reason you're going to increase prices is not because you're going to increase prices for the sake of increasing prices. You're going to increase prices, you're going to add more things or more deliverable, you're going to stack more things to it. Meaning that you're going to get more proof, and then you're going to solve smaller side problems because you're going to find out the problems that they have when they're using this app. Meaning that you solve one problem, it opens up another problem. Yeah. You're going to add the solution to that other problem within this problem and increase the price as well. So you're not just increasing prices for the sake of increasing prices. Very, very important. So how you price, and these are the rules. Leaders with performance, as I said, if you don't have any proof, use 2 mechanisms at most. Don't say that I'm going to charge you 500 for a setup. I'm going to take 10% of every deal you close, and then I'm going to add the 1,000 dirhams per month retainer, and then it's going to be 5,000 per month retainer if you close 5 clients, and I'm going to take 2% of each of the closed client if you close 10 clients. That's too much. Just do 2 max. 1 is good, 2 max, 3 is very confusing. So just do 2 max. Use that or charge for the 5 to 10x value rule, meaning that they should get the 5 to 10x ROI of what they pay. Look at the calculator over here. This is 7x ROI. So use this calculator to give them at least a 5x ROI out of everything. Keep within this range. If you tell them 100x ROI, let's say, or 50x ROI, it's kind of not believable if you're at stage 1. You get my point, right? So kind of keep it within this range. So stay in control when you're talking about this offer. You're going to say, I'm going to do everything. I'm going to host everything. I'm going to take care of everything. All you need to do is scan your WhatsApp QR code, and this thing begins. Or the other step you would say is that scan your QR WhatsApp code. I take information from you, and it begins. And you start booking more leads or booking more appointments and so on. Very, very important. You stay in control and make it very clear to them that they're not going to do much work, because that's an objection they may have. So raise the price by stacking, as I said, add more things, solve side problems. Don't just raise price for the sake of it. You can do that once you get proof, by the way. And know your 3 guarantee types, very, very important. As a beginner, you can say, I'm going to give you a full refund. Another type of guarantee is performance, meaning that only you're going to pay if you get results, meaning that I'm going to take a percentage of the results you're going to get. And the third type is the conditional, meaning that you're going to get a full refund if the conditions are X, Y, Z. You run this app, you run this platform, you run it for 30 days, and I see your business is getting at least 100 leads per month, then this guarantee works. Like, you can make it conditional. The easiest one is a full refund. So just keep in mind. And also, if for the fear part, if you have any fear about this, if you do a good job, if you let's say you said I'm gonna book you, you went full aggressive mode. You said I'm gonna book you 20 appointments, and in 30 days, and you booked 15, you booked 10, and you did a good job in that. They might not even ask for the guarantee, by the way. They might not tell you, give me my money back. Most people won't. Like normal humans won't. I'm just trying to make that point because they got value out of, they made more money, they saw the ROI, they got the ROI, and so on. So don't be afraid to put guarantees at the beginning. And chase value, not size. Aim for businesses that won customers that is worth more than 5,000 or more. Real estate, for example, this is a very clear thing, meaning that real estate, if a client closes, let's say, property, they take 4% commission. That's, let's say, let's for just numbers, let's say it's 40,000 dirhams. That's one client's worth to a real estate brokerage, let's say. But to a salon, it may be 1,000, maybe 2,000, maybe 500. So always aim for businesses higher and understand the lead value size for that business. Now, this is the first part of the business, or your core part of how the business and the product and the offer in the market looks. Now let's talk about the app a bit. So we're going to talk about set up and deploying this app. But as you remember, I just want to show you the screenshots over here. This is the app they're going to have. They're going to have a setting page, a booking page. They're going to have the leads page. They're going to have a lot of pages, let's say, that gives them the functionality that they want. So they can go through. And they're going to get notifications as well. It's going to book appointments. It's going to do everything. Now, you can set this up. You can brand it. You can do it whatever you want with it. You can expand it even in terms of feature for the clients. But I'm going to give you the fundamental, or what you need as a basic model or a base where you can where it's, let's say, complete enough to give the client and get paid for. Like you don't need to do anything with it. It's going to work out of the box if you just set it up. But you can add to it if you want. So the tech stack, or what we use over here, we use Vercel to host the app. That's what you're going to use. Supabase for the database. That's their login. That's where their login comes in. And that's where the leads, the conversations, and the bookings will be stored. We use OpenAI as the model over here. In particular, GPT 5.4 mini model. This is the language we're going to use. You can change it to whatever else you want, but this is basically very cheap. You can, we're going to come into the calculator, but it's super cheap. And then we use Evolution API on a Hetzner server, which I'm going to explain to you why. Evolution API, so we have the WhatsApp API, the business API, and we have the Evolution API. Evolution is based on Baileys. WhatsApp, a business API, is more of the legal kind of ban risk. It has a low ban risk. It's not risk free, but I say it has a low ban risk kind of method because it's kind of official. Evolution API is not official. But a very important point, we're not building an outbound AI assistant over here. As I talked to, we talked within the product. We're not setting up WhatsApp or this AI agent that sends a bunch of WhatsApp messages and initiates conversations with strangers. What we're doing is we're responding to strangers who have talked to us, meaning that those strangers kind of opted in to be responded to. So the risk is actually really, really low over here in terms of being banned. And this is how we're going to explain it to your clients as well, because you're going to get this objection. You may get this objection. We've gotten it many times. So this is how you're going to deal with this bad part. So why am I saying Hetzner server? Of course, you can run it on your PC, this app that I've given you. You can run it and it can work for your client. But you close your PC, you go to sleep. Your PC, maybe the power of the place you are in gets shut down. Something happens. And then what happens if your PC shutdowns is that the client will not get, or they will get leads. Nobody will respond to that leads because your computer is shut down, because your computer is running this app. So you can run it on a Hetzner server. Very easily you can do it with AI. Just tell AI, I want to run this and deploy it on the server over here. It costs $5 to $10. You can run it for many clients on that $5 to $10 per month. So this is just where this comes in. Use ingest for, let's say, background reliable jobs, so messages never drop. Use Uptash. This is for handling rate limits, not important, and it's kind of optional at this point. And you use resend to send owner alerts by email saying that you got a booking appointment, or a lead has been handed off for you for you to check because of this particular case. This was a conversation, or WhatsApp is down, your phone got disconnected, or you did something on your phone, it logged you out. Now can you go back in and log in? So you can send notifications, and it's set up, by the way. And you can just set up certain, or what you're gonna do is basically you're gonna make accounts, give it keys. That's gonna work. So as I mentioned, there are two ways to connect to WhatsApp. The first way is the official way, let's say the safe way, use official business API. You add your number there, you get verified and validated. It takes time, and it's kind of a lengthy process. It's it's less risk, let's say there's less risk as I said, but it's not ban proof. And you're never going to tell a client you're never going to get banned. There's always a possibility with any social media platform you're going to get banned. Even if you're running ads for them, there's a possibility they're going to get banned or they're never going to run ads again. So this is one way. The other way is using this. As I said, we're more of an inbound response kind of thing and not an outbound kind of thing. It's I'm not going to say against, but it's unofficial how we're doing it with Evolution API. But it works and we have not seen any problems so far. So this is what I'm trying to tell you. We have done this many times and we have not seen any problems so far because it's kind of responding to inbound. It's not doing outbound. So this is about connecting WhatsApp. So what you're going to do is you're going to download, the link is below. You're going to click on that. You're going to download it. It's going to be in a zip file. You're going to extract it. You're going to use any AI with it to modify it. You're going to use the prompts over here, which is who to sell to based on the category. There's a prompt I give you. You're going to modify it based on that prompt. You can talk to it in natural English saying, I want to change the color. I want to change the buttons. I want to change whatever. I want to put the company's logo on it and so on. You're going to deploy it on your PC locally. You're going to see it worked. You're going to connect your own WhatsApp if you want to test it out. And once you test it out, you can put it on a Docker setup on a Hetzner box. And then it's going to be running 24/7 on that box. And your clients just can go and log in and they can just scan the QR code and it just works. So what you're going to customize, it's going to be all in the settings. You're going to customize the knowledge base, how you want it to speak in terms of persona and tone and language and style. The booking rules in terms of when does it book, when does it not book, who gets notified, does it follow up or not. And everything right now you're going to see in the app right now is set up for the cleaning market. So if you're looking at another niche, and I highly recommend not use a cleaning niche, but if you're looking at any other niche, and the reason I'm saying don't use that is because anyone who downloads this app will use that cleaning niche. So highly recommend you not use a cleaning niche, go for any other market and just set it up. It's very easy, by the way. Then you put it up live, as I mentioned, test it out, use your own numbers, and then switch it on to agent mode. You can do all the settings over there. So this is what you're going to do, and you're going to do it for every single client. It's very easy. Maybe the first time takes time, but later on it gets very, very easy. So what's the cost? What's the expense over here? How much are you charging? How much are you spending, let's say? So if we assume we're using GPT 5.4 mini model, of course you can add more model over here, but I'm assuming this model over here. And we're assuming we're having 400 conversations per month. And we're assuming that 5 people share one Hetzner subscription. And we assume the price of that subscription, I took it a bit more than $10. It's $5 to $6, I think. But I took it, let's say, worst case scenario, it's 45 dirhams. And let's say you charge a client 1,500 dirhams to build it out for them. So the cost of WhatsApp per month is 0. Of OpenAI per month is 16 dirhams. Of OpenAI cost per conversation is 0.040 dirhams. Meaning that the clients that share the server, each client cost is 9 dirhams. Your total cost is 25 dirhams. That means you charge 1,500 dirhams. You're spending 25 dirhams. You're keeping 98% of the profit. So that's nothing. You can increase this to 4,000. You're still near 90% profits. You can say you got a client that gets a lot of leads, messages, 100,000. No, that's way too much. Let's go for 10,000. That's 73%. So 10,000 is a lot, by the way. Some governmental entities and big organizations don't get 10,000 conversations per month on their widgets or on all that. I'm just giving you a benchmark over here. It's more of 2,000 to 4,000. So this is in terms of the calculator and how much it costs you. So what you do now is you set it up, you deploy it, you test it out, and you understand that this will not cost you much. So now let's talk about, what do clients really get for the money that they're paying you? One is they get a branded speed to lead agent that's live on their WhatsApp. And this is for you to understand, not for your clients, because they don't care about speed to lead agent. They want their leads responded to. And that agent answers every inbound lead within seconds, day or night, in Arabic and English. It answers questions from a knowledge base you already know to it. It qualifies the leads, it books the appointments into their calendar, and it captures that contact, and it follows up if they go quiet, and it also sends notification to that owner of the business of every important handoff, lead, booking, or situation that happens. And behind it sits a private admin login where they see, or if your client sees, every single lead, every conversation, every booking, and the settings page. That's what's happening. And what it really buys them beyond the booking is that your offer, yes, we talked about it, is selling booked appointments or responses to this lead, solving this particular problems. But what does make the client stay? That's a very important question. And what would make your client want to buy more things from me? I call this kind of like a dopamine nicotine effect, if you want to call it. It's kind of addictive, where imagine every single, or what do you do every single morning? Let me ask you this question. You check your phone, you check for notifications, right? You check Instagram if you have Instagram, you check your social media channels, you check if someone responded to you or any messages. That's kind of an addiction that exists. So, what do business owners do every single day? They check their WhatsApp if anyone talked to their business, if they know business or leads come in at night and they were asleep. They're kind of that paranoid kind of situation where, let me see who talked to me. Let me see if I need to respond to them or not. That's what they do every single morning. Now, take the scenario of them waking up and every single morning not seeing or panicking because of that, because that's something they used to do. But now the leads have been responded to, the appointments have been booked for that business, and business has been done while they were sleeping. You know, that saying, they say make money while they sleep. They make money while they slept. Imagine that feeling. Just imagine what they feel over there. They're not guilty anymore because they missed a message. They don't start their day on that paranoia kind of rush movement. They're calm and their business is making more money. And do you think once you take away that pain or give them this emotion, won't they want more of it? And that's exactly why this kind of agents is very, very powerful. It's not only a solution to this small problem, but I'm telling you, this is what gets them to buy more things from you. And most importantly, when this product that I've given you is reliable, it does the job really, really well. It does it professionally. It answers in different language, maybe a language they don't understand. So this is what gets them beyond the bookings and beyond the deliverable and want to buy more things from you. And the three roles over here, in terms of what you deliver, I want you to understand. There's you, the operator. You have the app. You brand it to them. You take it and customize it for their own business. You own this code. I give you the codes. You put the API keys. You spin up one app per client, and you manage that app. The clients never see all of what you do. It's not important to them at all. What they see is what's up, and it's being answered. The leads are being answered and responded to every single day and immediately. That's what they're seeing, basically. And if they want more access behind the scenes, they can go on the platform, which you give them a login to, and they can see the settings and all the details. So what's the role? I give you two of these. I give you your role, what you have, and what the client role is. They have a private admin login page. They have their own data, the leads and all this, and they can export it at any time. They never see what you do. Then there's their customer, which is the third part of this kind of model you're building out. Their customer have no clue you exist. They have no clue if in certain cases or specific cases that this is AI as well. Ethically, let's say, you need to mention that you're an AI assistant if you're deploying something. But some people try to hide that. try to make it as sound as human as possible. It works as well, and you can do that. But they have no clue you exist. You're the operator. They know there's your client. They have a business. They're selling, or they have a restaurant. They do reservations, and they take questions on every dish in the menu. And the customer comes in and talks to them. That's what happens, and it goes to your client, and they never have any clue that you exist. So what happens when they pay? Very, very important. They pay you a setup fee. You run a short intake, as I mentioned, and this determines the quality of the agent or this product that you're going to build out. If you can extract awkward questions, weird cases, edge cases, and unusual asks they get. Like if you can extract the darkest, deepest details of the business and what happens between the business and a customer, the quality of your agent will be the wow factor over here, let's say. Very, very important. So once you set it up, you can train them on 30. You can either send them a video or you can get on a call with them and say, okay, all you need to do now is I've set everything up for you. And based on what we talked about in our intake call, I've added all the information over here. All you need to do right now is open your login. Can you share your screen and go on it? They go on it. They open their login. Can you go here and click connect WhatsApp? They click on connect WhatsApp. Can you scan the QR code? They scan the QR code. And that's done. You're connected. Now everything is on and you can test it out. Now, after a month, you can start with the monthly fee. Or if you did the performance deal, you can say, after 1 month, I'm going to see the deals that closed because the deals will be visible. And we're going to take 10% on every deal that you closed. That's the monthly fee. So what they get access to, very simply, is their leads, the details, which is the messages the leads got us, everything. They can export it in a data file. And they get a private admin dashboard. That's what your clients get. That shows all the details. And even there's a kill button to stop the AI assistant at any time they want. And the data is completely theirs. You need to make this super clear. This is what you're delivering as well. Whatever leads that comes in, they can export. And at the end of you two working together, let's say, you're going to show them how to export it. Or you're going to tell them, okay, you can export it now by clicking a button, or we export it for you automatically every 10 days. Just so you keep the data. You can be as flexible as you want over here. So that's what you deliver. Now you will get also some edge cases. You're going to get people telling you that, what if I don't want you to be here in the picture? I want you to give me everything and I want to own everything and I don't want to pay your retainer. You're going to get those kind of cases. But let me explain to you how you're going to run the service, and those are the cases, how you're going to deal with them and so on. So what you're doing here, you're running a done for you service for several clients at once on that deployed Hetzner VPS, let's say, or someplace on the internet. You're going to subscribe to something, you're going to deploy this app on that, and you're going to run it for several clients. You're going to do the heavy lifting. I've done the heavy lifting for you, but the app is going to do, let's say the app is going to do heavy lifting, and it's just a customization part for your case for every single client. And your job is to keep every WhatsApp connection alive. You're going to configure the agent for the clients. You're going to keep the costs, or you're going to check the cost at least, because even in the worst case scenario, the cost won't go, let's say, more than 70% margins in the worst case scenario. And that's being very, very conservative. Most of the time it will be 80% to 90% margins. So you're gonna keep a check on that, just in case someone is really, let's say, evil in the sense that wants to abuse everything and just make you lose money, which is very rare, let's say, but there are people. So this is you checking. You're gonna track your clients, and then you're gonna back up the data so the client never lose the leads if something unforeseen happens. So this is your job. And how you're gonna do this, I've set for every single one details how you're gonna do this. For example, keep every agent alive as the first connection over here. So one, we've set notifications in case the WhatsApp gets disconnected. What you're going to do is you're going to either send them an email or send them a repairing connection request. You're going to do something. You're going to take an initiative or let the email do the initiative to get them to connect again, or tell them that the AI assistant or this app is or this product is not responding because you have not connected or you have disconnected. This is one of the operations. Two is you're going to tune the agent. If they're paying a retainer on a monthly basis, you're going to see all the conversations that happen. You're going to take that conversation, retune the agent, and teach it, let's say, the edge cases that you missed, or the language that you would have loved, or the tweaks you would have made, and all those kind of things. So that's what you're going to do on a monthly basis. Safety. You're going to look at the daily spend cap, as I told you. You can have a kill switch, you can rate limits, and you can monitor through email. And very, very important, you need to back everything up, because one copy per client is very simple to run. But what if you're running 10 clients on 10 different apps? Then you have no clue what's happening on every single app. You don't know if the leads are getting saved or not getting saved, the WhatsApp connections is running or not. You don't have all these details. So the backing up everything is very, very important. So you have that, let's say, mitigation plan in case something happens wrong. So what you own and what the client owns, you're going to own the source code, of course, the app itself, the database and everything. Even the API keys, or the API credits, let's say, you're going to own them. The client has no clue all of that. All the keys, as I mentioned, is yours, and the code stays by you by default. But if they insist and say, I want the code, can you do it for me? I want to run everything. I want to do my keys. Of course, you're going to do it for a much higher price. And most people, or these small businesses that I told you and who to sell to, don't want to deal with any of the tech. So that's for the operations and the edge cases that you may have. So you have the offer, you have the app, you know who to sell to, everything is ready. All the foundation work is ready. Now you need to find people to sell to, right? This is exactly what I want to talk about in this sheet over here. So your number one move in finding people is that before pitching anyone, you're going to go and message their WhatsApp as a customer. You're going to see how long they take to reply and what the reply is. And the way you're going to use it, you're going to use it in two different ways. Way number one is that you're going to understand and validate to yourself that they really have a problem and they really have a leak over here, and you're going to solve for that problem. And point number two is you can show it to them when you're going to come to the sales part. And note from experience, very, very important over here, is that if you do it aggressively, non-strategically, and if you just go ahead and say, hey, you have a problem, I have a solution for this, it may rub in the wrong way, because they are business owners. They have an ego. And you're just telling them that your business is wrong, I know better, buy my stuff. And that kind of doesn't work. It works better on a warmer prospect or a lead that you have been talking to and so on. But if you do it just as your first interaction, I would highly recommend, if you have no proof, you've done nothing, you don't have any authority within this niche, not to do that, because it doesn't sound good. It builds up the sales resistance. So this is your mystery shop kind of move or tactic you're going to use for this kind of offer or this kind of product. So where are you going to find the people? You have LinkedIn, Google Maps, Instagram DMs, sector platforms, WhatsApp, cold email. Stay away from that. If you're selling from the outside market, try to look as local as possible. Now let's go into the details. LinkedIn is the best quality over here, because you're going to find the MDs, the founders, the CEOs, the C-suites, or the people running or decision makers running the exact business or you're targeting, or the rest. Let's say the category, if it's a restaurant, you're going to find that restaurant founder over there. I've found a lot of restaurant founders on LinkedIn. So they exist on LinkedIn. So what you're going to use is you're going to go on LinkedIn Sales Navigator. You're going to go on the who to sell to sheet, take the filters, put it over there, and then it's going to give you a bunch of people within the region you've chosen. In this case, let's say Dubai. And then you can reach out to them exactly as they are. What you're going to do is you're going to connect with them, wait 24 hours, then send your text, voice note, video, or whatever you chose. So that's LinkedIn. Two is Google Maps. You can go on Google Maps. You can find a lot of businesses on Google Maps. And most of the time they have websites there, or they even have WhatsApp number over there. So there's two things you can do over there. WhatsApp number, websites. You can go and run this tactical on them, and then you can understand if there's a pain or not. Instagram DMs. So you can find a lot of, let's say, different categories on Instagram. Let's say, for the sake of this example that we had, the restaurants, you can find them on Instagram. Something, and for some reason, as I mentioned, these accounts or business accounts or restaurant accounts have 1 to 2 following, and usually they're the founders. So you can instantly find the founders through their following. If you don't, you can take the restaurant, you can go on LinkedIn, you can find the founders. So it's an entry point. So you can see there are different ways towards the same, let's say, to the person that you want or how to reach them. Then there are sector platforms. For example, if you're talking about property, go on Property Finder. You can, or brokerages, you can go on Property Finder. You can find a lot of broker numbers over there. They're just waiting for someone to just talk to. You can go on Frisha, which is for salons. You can go on Dubizzle, for example, for cars. There's a lot of platforms you can go on. You can go on WhatsApp, or you can reach out to people on WhatsApp directly, but try to be local or not talk from a foreign number. And I'd kind of stay away from these two if you're doing it within this region, because this is borderline legal illegal. Depends on how you do it, but it's borderline legal illegal in this region. I know cold email is a thing in the UK and the US and all the other regions, but in this region over here, if you're targeting this region, this is borderline legal illegal. Some people get smart about it and say, or talk to people on LinkedIn and say, hey, would you like to know more about this particular thing that's amazing that you would love? They say, yes. Can you give me your email? I'm going to send you all the details. They get the email and they start spamming them with cold email stuff. So they try to get that initial opt-in before cold emailing people. So this is, as I said, it's borderline legal. And if you're selling from outside the market, of course, look as local as possible, because there's a high awareness in this region where they don't respond well to, let's say, foreign numbers. Even local numbers, which are unknown numbers, there's a high awareness to not, because there's a lot of scams going on. So there's high awareness in terms of don't respond to this, don't give your OTP, don't give your personal information, and so this. So just I'm giving you the landscape of how everything and how to reach them. So what you're going to do is you're going to find the ones that fit inside your niche and keep it within the category that you have. You have the list of who not to sell to, which is someone who's not getting enough, let's say, WhatsApp leads, or someone who sells something very, very cheap. So there's a who not to list on the very first page, which is start here. We talked about that. Then find the real decision maker once they fit, and then talk to that founder or owner and make sure you're talking to that person. So you found the fit. Then what you're going to do is you're going to rate each one by feel. So you're going to have a gut feeling over here. There's no formula to this whatsoever. What's going to happen is you're going to rate in your mind whether this is a whale or a fish. Whale means it's a very big client. They get a lot of leads, 100 leads and so on. A fish is a smaller one, but both work. And based on if they're whale or fish, you identify this, how much effort you want to put into reaching out to this person. That determines whether you're going to do text, whether you're going to do it voice, or you're going to do it in terms of video. So once you determine or identify and rate your target, you're going to do 3 touches. Meaning that, and I'm going to give you metrics for this, so just so it's real for you and you just stay on track. So once you find out this person, you're going to reach out. You're going to reach out with text, voice, or video, as I said. And it depends on, and very important point, you're going to be human, you're going to be genuine, and it's all of that. But the most important point is that it depends on what you feel is what you're going to do. Like for some clients or some people, I send a video. For some people, I send a voice note. I don't resort to text. Text, I keep it for conversation. I keep voice note and video for that. That's what I do. So it's based on what you feel you want to do. Of course, video is best. If you can do it all video, like if you have time, let's say, and you don't want to do this part, you do it all video. So then you reach out. And you're not going to sound like an AI. You're not going to go get the script from ChatGPT and say, what do I tell this person? You're not going to say something like introducing the number 1 AI WhatsApp for your business. Boost your 10 sales 10 times. So do you want to reply now? Or should we, don't sound like an ad. Don't sound like a TV commercial. Sound like a human. Be a human. Genuinely talk to that person. Hey, I saw your account. I've tried your burger last week. If you need, and you're going to a restaurant, because for the sake of this example, go to that restaurant. Have a burger which is called some weird name.
And then you can go back. Or I'm having your burger and it's amazing. I just wanted to reach out. I have this opportunity. This is something I've been doing.
See, that's how creative I would get. Be a real human. And like we saw that there's 25,000 restaurants, right? And cafes. You just think with me right now. If you record 100 videos of drinking a certain cafe's coffee, of different cafes, let's say, I record 100 videos for 100 different cafes, 100 different coffee types. What's the likelihood of you getting clients? Like, even if you have no clue about business, what's the likelihood? There's a high likelihood, right? Even if the person is not convinced about you in whatsoever way, they're gonna appreciate the effort. They're gonna appreciate what you've done. They're gonna see you're genuine and human, and they're gonna understand you're starting out. Let me just help this person. There's at least one person out of 100 people that wants to support, right? So I'm just giving you like realistically what's happening. So touch one is the opener. Lead with their own leak, and this is not most of the case, but you either directly or indirectly target this. Directly, stay away from this, but indirectly, you can say the industry is like this. We've worked with this type of industry, and we've realized XYZ, the leak that you just saw. And then you can name that we have something called the fast food, fast reply the outcome solution. And what it does is XYZ. Are you interested or not interested? Or is this something that would interest you? And also mention, and this is a very important point, if you mention, I have an opportunity for you, like I have this opportunity for your business. They like that works. I have this opportunity. So if you're interested, let me know. We can hop on a call. If you're not interested, no worries, completely fine. The main frame you're going to have over here when reaching out to people, you want to know they're interested or not interested. You don't want to know maybes. This is very, very important. So what's going to happen is they're going to either reply to you, you're going to get interested, not interested, no answer yet. If you get no answer yet, or if you get if you get any fuzzy answer, which is maybe, you're going to do touch two, which is 2 days later. If there's no answer, you're going to turn into going to the mode of follow-up, saying that, is it a yes or is it a no? And you're not going to accept anything else. You're not going to be that aggressive when you're talking to them, but you're not going to accept anything else. That's a frame you're going to have. So what you're going to do in touch two is, if it's a maybe, you're going to make it interested, not interested, a yes or a no. And if it's a no answer yet, you're going to get a yes or a no. And if you get a maybe on touch two, you're going to try to get it to a yes or a no, because you already did the opener in the past. And touch three is essentially the reminder. So you may get yes or no. No, you move on to the next lead, the next person, and just identify, rate, and go through the route for the next person. If it's a yes, then they need to go to the next step, which is a book a call with you, right? What if they didn't book a call? That's the reminder, which is touch three. So a very, very frame you must have, important frame you must have here, is that if someone told you they're interested but did not book a call, that doesn't mean they change their mind. We don't have the ability to read minds. We don't have the ability to forecast the future. We don't have the ability to assume, but we love to assume. We humans love to assume everything. Like, if someone didn't respond to me, why is this person not responding to me? Maybe they're sad. Maybe they didn't like what I said the other day. Maybe X, Y, Z. If someone told, and the way you're going to approach this in business is, or what you're doing and selling over here, if someone told you they're interested, you're going to take their word for it, and they're interested. And if they didn't book a call, but they said they're interested, it means that, best case scenario, they got busy with life. Traffic, kids, mall, they answered you while they were super busy playing football, whatever the situation is, they did not change their mind. That's emotion speaking. It isn't because they thought about the problem a bit more and now they sold themselves off out of your product and they don't care about your product and it sucks. They didn't say any of that. So they're interested, follow up, get them to book the call. This is what I'm trying to say in touch three. Don't be emotional about it. Now, the numbers and the metrics you should have for this approach that you're going to go, that you need to hit every single day. So we said, if we want to get a client within the next 30 to 90 days, We want to guarantee getting a client within the next 30 to 90 days. What are we going to do? For touch one, the opener, you're going to send it to 10 to 20 people a day, whether it's text, voice, or video, 10 to 20 per day. Touch two, which is closing conversations, meaning getting a clear answer, you're going to do it 5 per day. Or let's say you have just 2 per day, the maximum amount you can do, maximum 5, let's say. Meaning that if it's a maybe, you're going to make it a yes or a no. Next step. If it's a no answer, you're going to make it yes or no. So next step, you're going to get it done 5 per day. And for touch 3, you're going to get at least 1 per day, meaning that you're going to go on 1 call per day or make 1 offer per day. Or 1 reminder, let's say, that gets them to the call to make that offer. This is very, very, very important. Hit these metrics, you're going to close a client 100%. Like even by mistake, you're going to close a client. You will 100% get objections. People will reject you. People will tell you no. And it's completely fine, part of the process. And selling to you right now can feel like this emotional dance, especially if you've never sold before, because you don't see yourself selling. It's hard to think of selling, as you don't want to be pushy or sound like weird and awkward or ask people for money. And underneath all of this, the reason you feel that way is because you don't want to be rejected. You don't want someone to tell you no. You don't want someone to tell you go away. I'm telling you, 100% confident that you will get objections. You will get pushed away. You will people will tell you no. And it's completely normal. This is the game you're getting in. You said you want to play the business game. You want to get your clients. You're going to get the most out of this AI lifetime opportunity that's happening. This is part of the game or the rules that you have to play by. And the reason is very, very simple. The same fears you have, the client or the person you're selling to, they also have fears. And their fears is the objections that you're going to get. And this is what I want to talk about in this section over here. For the app and product we talked about, what are the common objections we've got? Like, what did people say? And what did they mean by them? Because not everything they say is what they mean. Because every objection your client or prospect may have, or your lead may have, has just a few underlying fears. And you're not going to argue the objections they're going to tell you for the exact word they say, but you're going to talk to the exact emotions that they mean. And they're mostly under money, risk, and effort. There's a lot of these are the main ones, but there's trust and other things which we're going to talk to about, which is a second group, not the primary, but we're going to talk about that. Now let's talk about the objections you will get. So the first fear they have, the big umbrella fear they have, is, will this thing give me an ROI? Or will it pay for itself? Which is a money fear. And what they would say, or how they would say it, is that this is expensive. Or isn't this just ChatGPT you're adding for my WhatsApp? Anyone could do this. So these are two things they may say. But what do they really mean is that, will this give me an ROI, which is a money fear? Let's talk about it is expensive. What they're saying is that they're asking whether it will get them an ROI. You're going to answer it in their own numbers. You're going to say 1 recovered lead or 1 extra package covers a fee plus profits. And that's the reason why in the offer we said, what's the break-even number? That's why we do the calculator. You're going to pull out that calculator and say, this is the ROI you're going to get. By you paying this much, you're going to get this much. If you pay 1,000, you're going to get 7,000. Is that a good deal? So will it pay for itself? It's very clear when you do it through the calculator. Isn't this ChatGPT? Anyone could set this up. A raw chatbot, this is what you're going to say, will happily invent a price and double book you. This is a booking system with an AI layer on top. You're not going to say this is an AI assistant with it booking, but you're going to focus on the outcome and the result. This is never going to invent price. It's never going to ruin your brand. It's going to do it in Arabic and English. It's not going to make you look bad, and it's going to make you more money.
And this is why we took the time to make sure that it actually delivers the result. Because again, go back to the ROI calculator, put it back up. If you pay 1,000 and you're gonna make, and because we built it in this way, it can generate you 7,000 dirhams, which the ROI is 7 times. So you're gonna pull it and hook it back into, will it pay for itself? Will I get an ROI? Yes. This is fear number one, objection number one. Objection number two, will it embarrass me or lose me a customer? This is a risk fear, meaning that will it say something, or this is how they say it, will it say something wrong or make up a price? What if it books two people in one slot? What if it crashes or misses a message? Will this get my WhatsApp number banned? Very important, we talked about this in detail. Is my data safe? Is it even legal here? We talked about the details as well. So this is what you're going to say. Will it say something wrong or make a price up? It only ever uses the prices, services, and hours you give it. That's why we run the 15, 30 minutes, 1 hour, whatever minutes intake call. It cannot invent one. From that intake call, it gets everything it needs in order to answer. If something is not like what you gave it, it says it will check and passes it on to you, because there's always that human in the loop, which is you. It's never going to make things up. That's how we designed it. Well, does it answer, will it embarrass me or lose me a customer? It did. What if it books two people in the same slot? It cannot. Your calendar rejects any overlapping booking by design or at a system level. And the agent is the only thing touching your slots. A booking is written into your calendar before the customer is ever told it is confirmed. And the availability of that booking is given by you, meaning that there is a system that we've set that checks and also makes sure that it doesn't overlap the bookings. Will it embarrass me or lose me a customer? Did we answer that or not? We did. What if it crashes or misses the message? Every message gets a real reply, a holding message or an alert to you. It is built to fail out loud, and you only know if it failed or not. If a connection drops, you get an email within minutes. So a lead never goes missing quietly. And if a connection drops, the AI doesn't or the app does not spit error to the WhatsApp message. It's just going to stay quiet. So you really have nothing to lose, and it doesn't embarrass you in any way. It doesn't like insult the lead. So does it answer the question or not? Will this get my WhatsApp number banned? We talked about this in details, but the way you're going to say it very simply is nothing in the world is banned, or there's no, I cannot guarantee anything that they can't ban you. They can even ban you for posting on a LinkedIn or Instagram tomorrow because you use certain thing that was against their policy. So this is we cannot predict if it gets banned or not. But then you explain to them that what you are doing is answering inbound leads. You're not spamming strangers. So the risk is really, really low. Like it's really, really low over here. It's even, and I'm not saying it's zero because I cannot say it's zero. I want to say zero, but I cannot say. Nothing is in life is risk is zero. Does it answer, will it embarrass me or lose me a customer? It did. Is my data safe? Is this even legal here? So based on the category, if you're talking about clinics, this is a different route you're going to take. But generally, based on the category, you're going to say you're going to own everything. The data is yours. The data processing agreement, if you want, we can do that. We have access to nothing, everything. You can export it every single time. And also we can set a scheduled export where all this data gets exported, sent to you, and deleted from the platform. So that's basically, will it lose me a customer and embarrass me? To answer that. So is this more work for me? This is an effort fear. What they're going to tell you is that I have no time for this. I need time. I need to make up time next 3 months in order to actually set this up with you. So what they're saying really is that, is there more work for me to be done right now? So the effort fear. What you're going to say is that you're going to do nothing. All you're going to get is a page you're going to log into, you're going to connect your WhatsApp QR code, and everything gets handled by itself. Even if you don't have time for our intake call together, what we're going to do is you're going to send me a voice note on WhatsApp, answering a bunch of questions, and that's it. You surely have time to send me a voice note. I mean, you don't say that, but they surely have time to do that, right? So does this work for me? You answer that no. You're not going to do anything. Will it replace me or feel fake? The trust fear. My customers want to talk to always to a real person. We can say something like, it never pretends to be human. If someone asks, it's going to say, I am the virtual receptionist of this company or business. It handles everything professionally, and it hands over to you anything that needs a human involved. You're going to specify what needs a human, because we're not replacing those tasks. Will it replace me or feel fake? That's a trust fear. We're not replacing you or those tasks. What we're doing is that we're handing off where you need or where you feel that you need to be present. So it's still you. It's 100% you. So other stalls or objections that you may get that are polite exits. I need to think about this. How much asking the too early before you're talking through the offer itself? I need to ask my partner, and whatever other reason they bring. They're all under all of these. And you're going to tap into the core emotion and answer the core question they have. I need to think about it. You can ask it, what is exactly you want to think about? Once they tell you, it will come back to one of these. If they say how much, you tell them it depends on the setup, depends on how much leads you get, and so on. That's why we have this calculator. Let's go through it so you understand. So how much is essentially will I get, and will it pay for itself? The money fear. So what happens is you pull out the calculator, it shows, then you show them how much. I need to ask my partner, ask them what their partner will want to know that you have not covered. Meaning that what is exactly your fear over here? What do you want to ask your customer, your partner? Is it you want to ask them why? Because of ROI? Because you're afraid they're gonna say you wasted the money? Are you afraid they're gonna say you embarrassed us? Look at how it respond to a lead, and all those kind of things. So bring them back to one of these. So every objection you're gonna get is not a fear of you only as coming as a salesperson, but the reframe you're gonna have is that they are fearful of change. Our leads, they have this kind of fear that they have their own objections that they're telling themselves. And it's completely normal, 100%. I'm here to help them, and this is going to help them. Now let's talk about how you're going to close the call. You've talked to the right person, you got them all the way to the call. Now, what are you going to do on this call? Let me tell you the exact game plan or blueprint of what you're going to do. First frame you're going to take is that you are a doctor, you're not a salesperson, and you're going to run the call like a doctor and not a salesperson. And that's how the pressure will disappear. If you're new to this, you're not used to selling and all those kind of things, you don't know how to sell, let's say, you're going to think that you're a doctor. You come in, you ask a bunch of questions, you diagnose, you prescribe, and you say, this is a very good solution for you, or this medicine is something you really need. You don't think that they're going to come in, bombard you with questions, ask you. You never ask a doctor, why do you think that the medicine is good? I don't agree with you. I think this other medicine is better. You don't tell that to a doctor. The doctor asks about your cough and asks about a bunch of symptoms and then tells you, okay, you have this. That's exactly the frame you're going to take. And the whole call rests on two main things. You need to make them believe that this will make them more money and it's a new opportunity for them, an untapped opportunity, and give them some kind of urgency to act. It helps. But at the beginning, you may feel reluctant to do this. And I'm going to tell you right now, 100% you're going to get an objection. Run the perfect sales call. Run the perfect call. Be the best person in terms of selling the prospect. You're going to get the objection. And again, we come back to this fact, is it not you, but it's them, their fear. You're answering their fear. So before you come on the call, you can have some assets ready, ammo, let's say, ready for the call itself. You can have the calculator ready, your ROI calculator, which I gave you in tab 3. You can have your offer ready, beautified proposal kind of thing. You can look at the niche row that you're talking to, so you can understand their terminologies, the language, the words, and everything they use. And you can have a screenshot of you talking to them and how long it took. So if there has been talk beforehand to get them on a call, you've talked, you felt the vibe, you connected in a way, maybe you can bring this up. If not, you can bring this up indirectly, saying that what we know from the industry is usually they don't answer within this time and this happens and so on. So you can, and that example that you just gave is exactly what happened with their business. So you're not making things up. So that's before the call. Then when the call begins, you maybe say, hey, how I do it personally is I start by a name. If the name is Ahmed, I see that name Ahmed, I say, Ahmed, how are you? Then how are you? I'm fine. Then he tells me, how are you? And I'm fine. So amazing to have this call with you. So what we're going to do today is, you said the agenda. I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions just to understand where you are at and how everything is looking and all that. And then after that, if we're a good fit, I'm going to go through the offer. Is that fine with you? Get the micro commitment over here and let them say yes. Like, it's important for you to set the agenda and let them say yes. Once they say yes, ask them a bunch of questions. These are the main questions you're going to ask. How many inquiries land on your WhatsApp in a week? You're going to get the details over there, because this is all you're going to use in the ROI calculator itself. Who answers them after you close? Or does anyone answer them? Oh, I do it myself. Oh, I have this person who does it. Is there any issues there? Yes, there is issues. Sometimes we don't understand what the clients want. Sometimes we reply wrong or that. Okay, amazing. Roughly how many do you say that you miss on a weekly basis or a monthly basis? And what is one booked customer, or whatever the word within the industry is, worth to you? Oh, it's worth 5,000 dirhams, 2,000 dirhams, whatever dirhams is over here. Amazing. Then you describe to them. You say, so you told me that you get around 200 leads per week, and you have a personal assistant that does not speak proper English, and sometimes, maybe they don't say this, but does not speak proper English, and sometimes doesn't understand what they're saying, and it gets handed off to you. And during rush hour, that personal assistant is doing something else, so that personal assistant is not answering. And roughly, you're saying out of the 200 per week, you respond 6 hours late to 10 of them, and you say 5,000 is one customer's worth to you. Then maybe you can ask a question, and how much is your close rate? Like, out of the customers you get or the leads you get, those you respond to, of course, what's the percentage of the close rate? So you're gonna say it's around 20%, 15%, 10%. So out of that 10, if it's 10%, if we talk to all 10 on exactly, let's say instantly, and get them to book a call, they come on a call with you, hypothetically, let's say, and we close one of them because your close rate is 10, that's 5,000 dirhams to you, right? Extra every single week. That's 20,000 dirhams per month that you're losing right now. Yes. So that's a number you just gave them. You gave them the gap. You gave them essentially what they're missing out on. Very, very important. So who's on the call now is you. What do? You solve that exact gap. So what they will see is you're the solution. So you're in the right, let's say the right place, the right time. This is exactly what it means. Then you're going to show it live. You're going to share, okay. Then you're going to say, okay, I think we're a good fit. And I'm very confident. This is very important. You're going to say this word by word, because if you're starting out, you may not say that. I'm really confident, and I think I have high conviction that we can help you exactly on that problem, because we've solved it for multiple industries, or we have done this, or because we have looked into this problem exactly, and we have the exact solution that handles this, that gives you and adds you that 20,000 every single month. Mind if I show you? They're gonna say yes. Of course, you're gonna say yes. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna share your screen, open the app. You can open a WhatsApp here on your phone. You're going to send yourself, hi, ask questions. And it helps if you customize that WhatsApp or customize the knowledge base before the call on their business, based on the information you can find. So you can say, this is based on the information I find. Of course, you have much more experience just give them or what they say, the saying is toot their horn. Just tell them, I know your experience. I know you're very like, edge cases that I couldn't know. That's where your experience comes in. And that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to try to extract from you. You give me that and we can add it. And this can be much better than what you see. But this is an example. Give them the wow factor over here. Once you show them everything, you're going to tell them, okay, let's do some math over here. You said this. Like, you, even if you talked about the 15% or 10% close rate, you're going to redo it again with them with an hour calculator. And the most important point within the call here is, before doing all that we just did, don't name the price. Don't tell them the price. Don't tell them exactly what it is. So you do simple math, you see the ROI, they see how much they're losing, and then they see the possible potential of how much this might become. And then you might say, or just throw it in and say, I don't know if you're planning to run ads in the future, but if you do, you get more leads. That 20,000 can be 50,000 very easily because you have this thing running. So you just place it for a future thing as well, for a newer opportunity. So that helps as well. So then once you did all of that, then you can name your price or the structure within the offer itself. And then you're going to get objections. Usually objections come after price. Even before price, they say, this is amazing, I want to buy it. When you name price, you're going to get one objection. And this is where you handle and go back to this page and see what objections come in. Because 100% you're going to get an objection and it's there for you. And you're going to go through it and answer it one by one. And once you do that, you're going to get into a yes or a no or a maybe. If it's a maybe, book another meeting. On the same meeting, don't hang up. Book another meeting in the next 7 days. Say, when are you free within the next 7 days so we can book a meeting? So you just can check what your decision is. You want that yes or no. This is very important. You want a close conversation. So then book a meeting until the next conversation. And that's how you're going to close clients. Even if you do 20 calls, let's say, one will close in this way because you went through the full process to come to this point. And if you do 20 calls, let's say, within the next month, you're going to close one client. At least, like, that's a worst case scenario. So that's how you're going to do your calls.